that are going to be tough to deal with. Turf issues, exactly. You know, what is a franchising area? What is not a franchising area? So you could probably expect in the years ahead some issues arising in Congress and elsewhere around how to build a new regulatory framework for the telecommunications industry that deals with these transformations that are happening. So, Dee, I see, is there anybody?
There's a very good paper on just that by Joshua Breitbart that's available, and I'll give it to Harold, and you can send it out to your list.
Thanks.
It's excellent because it talks about, it's called full spectrum community access, and it's talking about how we really need to have access not just on cable, but also on the internet and also on satellite, so that there is there's not going to be any difference between the different media, and we need the principle should be public access, not specific cable.
Yeah, and that's Josh Breitbart with the New American Foundation. It's a great piece.
Yeah, you could go to New America Foundation and get a copy.
Harold,
I know. Apparently, he's got a commitment. So I think we have to go round it out, I guess.
Yeah. So one more question of somebody who hasn't asked.
One question. Who's got a burning
question about your video on demand, or your plan for it? How do you choose which shows to get on demand?
You go for the easy question right away.
Do you have like also do the shows that are on single episodes? Will they have an option to be on demand?
It's a big problem because we talked about Time Warner Cable with this. We feel that it's very important that public access has the same functionality that other broadcasters have, local commercial channels have. They have video on demand functionality, they have HD, public access should have that, and we feel very strongly about that. However, obviously the cable companies are resistant to that. But we were able to get, 25 or 30 hours of VOD capacity a month from the cable operators. So yeah, it's a scarce resource. And there's no question about how that gets allocated. It's going to be a policy issue from the board, and George is going to have to tackle that and deal with it. So that's part of the challenge. And there was just one more question, and then
I'll follow up on those negotiations that M&M has entered into with the distributors, Time Warner and the others. Those are, I assume, for 3-year durations and have to be negotiated on a 3-year cycle. Is that correct?
Actually, they're going to be for a 9-year deal to end when Verizon's cable franchise ends in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, so they're going to all come to a coterminus on 2020, and then we'll re-up and renegotiate with Verizon and Time Warner Cable at that point.
And if I may piggyback, is there any consideration being given to Studio A and enclosing it so we can shut out the ambient sound and have traffic rerouted?
Yes, there is, and as you know, one step we took, a minimal step, an initial step, was to enclose the upstairs, the upper floor. But we're also continuing to look at other options because we do hear that concern. We see it every day, we hear about it, and we're going to have to reorganize that space. So, sorry. I can't.
He's got an appointment. He has an appointment.
I would love to. I did arrive right spot on time.
Yeah.
I was hoping to kick off early. I'm really sorry, but we're going to do this again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the comments you've heard.
I'm sorry it was so warm. Dee Halleck's here. I don't know whether Dan has an appointment with TBS to leave. Dee, would you want to sit up here and talk to somebody? Sir? Pardon? That's what I was saying. Maybe Dee, you could sit up here and say, Dee Halleck, I don't know how many of you newcomers know. Dee Halleck is the grandmother, great-grandmother of public access. Dee Halleck has come here, deep dish, She's been on the scene since the very beginning, and it could be a great deal. We have some mini DV tape. We can keep the ball rolling and keep the thing going. And Dan, you can make your appointment then. And thanks a lot for coming in.
I have 2 little kids I gotta get.
Go take care of the kids. Take care of the kids. Didi, why don't you just sit here? We'll keep rolling, okay? And so let me introduce now. Thanks again, Dan, very much for coming out. It's a hot night and everything. And Danita, oh, you got to break down your system. They can do that. But let's just keep rolling while they break it down. This is Didi Halleck. And George, why don't you start talking with Didi?
Didi, I've gotten 7 calls from places all over the country. They've read the website, they've read the scandals about public access in M&N. What should I tell them? What's the answer?
Speak up, Didi, for the audience.
I think that the management is listening to some of these questions, and hopefully there'll be some resolution that will make things better. I mean, I think there should be more collaboration between M&N and other systems, because, I mean, the other public access. Because, for example, there was a question, I don't know if the young lady left, about wanting the information, like a lot of different access state centers have really very good instructions, and I think that maybe we could make a collection of those and send them to M&N so that maybe they could reconsider the kind of literature that's done. Because I noticed too, when we were trying to look at what's available that explains how to use the studio and how to use the editing, it's thin. There's very little information, and I think those kind of technical questions and they have to be changed whenever new equipment comes in. So there are ways to make that stuff user friendly. So one of the things that Chicago has that's very nice is a kind of turnkey studio. So you just go in and you don't have to do any technicality. You just press the button and the lights go on, you press another button and the telephone number comes up, and you can take live phone calls, and it's like a one-person operation, and it's very, very
Networks would love to hear about that.
Beg your pardon?
The commercial networks would love to hear about it. Where you can push one button and everything is done. They can lay off the entire staff.
Well, you should go to, that's the other thing, you know,
They've been
people were
working on that
asking,
for
you were
30
asking
years.
about like how much, what's happening to public access. Actually, there's a new public access center in Philadelphia that's just up and running and really wonderful. And they've had to work very hard to get it because Comcast was very resistant, and the corrupt city fathers of Philadelphia were, I think, in the pocket of Comcast, but they now have, it took a lot of activists years and years of work to pick it and to go to city council meetings and organize, and they now have a public access in Philadelphia that's really quite nice. And I urge you, Philadelphia isn't that far, you can take a train down there, and if you go on New Jersey Transit, it's a lot cheaper than going on Amtrak, and you can go down there and check out Philadelphia. But also, if you're in, a lot of towns around the country have really interesting public access, so it's good to check up, and maybe if you find something good at one of those stations, to bring it back to M&N, so the ideas and also the literature. Yeah.
With public access, do you think it's as important? You're saying over the last 10 years we've had great support and it's been up and going in places like Philadelphia. But in my state, I'm from the state of Connecticut, they're about to cut out all the public libraries. So when we talk about public access TV, we're not just limited to public access TV, they're cutting out the public library system. And I suggest people to send letters to your head of the public libraries. It was
Where is that in?
in the state of Connecticut, in the Constitution state. So I think if it's on the chopping block in the Constitution state, it's on the chopping block in every state, and what we're looking at is the wave. You know, whereas public access is about to be, you know, I see it on the PBS, for instance, supported Mr. Shapiro, is the head of the PBS that promotes PBS in our state, public broadcasting. And we're afraid, because if they're taking out the libraries, the public libraries, which is pure public access, that's what the people we're dependent on, at least the disenfranchised people, so ourselves that are not very wealthy, we depend on the public libraries, and we feel as if is it very similar to...
Yeah, well, actually in New York City, they're cutting the hours and they're closing, I think, 7 or 8 libraries.
So the head of the librarians is, you know, again...
If you all can speak up a little bit more, because there's a little bit of a din going on in the background.
Sorry about that, but we think the importance is the public library system for public access when we consider public TV, which requires electricity, and as if any of you are such as my family is, where we're from, we can barely pay our electric bills now. Electric bills are so high that not will we have access to the TV, but they've taken out the public libraries, so we won't even have access to our public libraries. I think that's the issue, is the AARP standing up again and fighting this battle where the strongest Congress is. It's not the Congress of the United States of America, but the Congress of what we call responsible elders. I come from an Indian tribe, so the elders are anybody over 50. And once you reach 50, we didn't usually live to be more than 47. So I hope the best for you all. We support public broadcasting because it's the only form of media that's getting out there that's the truth anymore. The newspapers have been suppressed, repressed, creating a bunch of, what is it?
Fabrication, there's no reporting being done in the newspaper anymore.
The local newspapers in our state are fabricating stories, not reporting on any truth.
It's throughout
As
the
far as
country.
Throughout the country.
It's throughout the country.
globe.
So again, if we don't stand up as a public people, as
We need a
responsible.
revolution.
Yeah, I just
Hang
love,
on, but it's not with guns. It's with people standing, it's the
They have to
responsible
stand up.
elders. It's our elders. We come back to our elders and we ask our elders, what do we do?
you know, anything, any of these things we have to fight for, and we have to fight to keep them now, but also if we want to expand them. So there was a discussion about what was available on satellite, and as somebody who was very involved in that about 12 years ago, I just want to give you a little bit of that history, because public access, the satellites were just coming on, and the satellite companies actually didn't have any requirements to do public access. And a group of us formed a coalition to force the cable companies to give some kind of public access. And that's how Free Speech TV started, and that's how Link TV started. But also a number of universities use those channels. I mean, it was an interesting fight because I was teaching at the University of California at the time. And I tried to get the university to put them there. It's a pretty rich university. It was before the fall, and they had money in their pockets. And I tried to get them to put up some money to help us lobby, which is really a lot of what it took, to get a public interest channels on the satellite. And they never gave us a cent. But now they're using it. They have a channel on that satellite. So thank God. I mean, actually, it's a very nice channel. They have lectures and a lot of stuff about medicine, because the UCSD is a big medical school, and they have a lot of cultural things from Santa Barbara and conferences on racism and really interesting things. But that would not be there if a group of us crazies hadn't gone and we went to the FCC, we went to Congress, we wrote letters, we got public access stations around the public access groups to fight for it. So
Right.
It takes organizing, and I think if we want to make M&N be what its potential is, and we have to really, I love the fact that Harold is having these meetings.
Send letters to your congressman
Yeah, but-
to spend
but to
money
your-
on public television instead of Homeland Security.
Well, I
Take
wouldn't
a
go.
little money out of the
send it-
Homeland
yes,
Security
exactly.
Department and spend it on the people, on the libraries
Or
again,
the
so we can
drones, how
educate
much
our
does those
kids.
drones cost, you know?
We recently recognized on state police cars, they have radars attached to the state police cars now on the back of the car, which reads every license plate as it goes down the road. So I don't know if it has to do with public access, but I don't know if anybody else has noticed it.
Well,
But
it's really,
They're spending a lot of money on
it's
Homeland
scary to
Security
how much
and not
money.
education. Who are we protecting ourselves from? Are we really that dangerous from each other? We all care about each other. We want people to have water again. Public TV, public information is like water. If you take the water away from the people, everybody should have the equal share of water, whether they're your enemy or not. You give them water for free. Water was always free. Like PBS was always free. Public. Take some money out of Homeland Security, write your congressman, and have them bring some money into what's really important, the libraries again, the public access.
Healthcare, education.
Healthcare.
Instead of war.
Medicine.
But it seems like anything public is going to be cut down.
Yeah,
Public-
without
The
Right.
research and data, it should be the other way around.
Hey, Mom.
When people are suffering, you don't put them in the street. You cut down you go up on the MTA fare. You go up on, cut down the hospitals. Anything public seems to be cut down. There is a reversal philosophy. I mean, the Democrats have won, so how come we are going backwards? When all the gains you all fought in the 60s, now being reversed, and nobody is talking
It
about it.
shouldn't cost money to
Everybody's on
support
Facebook.
lobbyists. It shouldn't cost money to support lobbyists. That's why they cleared it so you don't have those lobbyists. It shouldn't be money. You should have grants for PBS, just like they have grants for the Homeland Security. And again, a lot of the money is coming through Homeland Security to finance that war against your own people.
public funding for.
Public funding again for
Well,
the
I
important
really urge
things.
you to read this paper that's at the New America Foundation, and I'll send it around with Harold's thing because it's very inspirational about how we need, it's called full spectrum access, and we need, and it includes discussion about libraries and how in order to really work in this world, we need to have access to education, to channels of communication on all levels. Did you have another?
I need to ask you, if you all started this whole movement in California, how come it is lagging behind and the leadership are going down on public access? Is there a specific reason?
Which movement?
This whole public access movement?
Well, the public access movement started right here with George Stone. It
Amen.
wasn't in California. Maybe George could say a few words about how it started.
Seems like
It's Canada. Yeah.
Organization we had. Again,
it's
we developed the attitude of the government, the billboard, which was trying to help nonprofits and government agencies respond to the needs of the people. And that was why we got it all started.
How do you feel about, is there a decline though? And is it starting in California because it's weaker, because it started on the eastern side? I think there's a lack of
I
representation
don't know,
there.
we'll go out to Tucson.
Ask that question.
I suspect.
There's a lot of good public access. In fact, I think one of the most interesting experiments that's being done within the kind of world of public access is by Sean McLaughlin, who's an old access activist, and he is head of what is it? Not Marin County, but it's up near Eureka, Humboldt County, and they have a very wonderful public access like not just channels, but they also have internet. They have a community internet channel, and they are our internet service, so you can get your ISP through the public access. But they are starting what I think is the most interesting thing. Who are the most like gouging thieves that we all deal with? The cell phone companies. They are starting the first public cell phone company in Humboldt County. So when it's a public cell phone company. It'll hook into the other networks, but they will be able to really be more honest with you about where the charges go. I mean, it's amazing when you look at the Verizon bill. You know, what do all these mean? So I'm looking at that experiment really. I'm very hopeful that will be a kind of cutting edge for what could happen around the country. And I think it's one way, to me, what's really going to save public access is if public access really uses all the new technology in a really democratic public way. Then it'll be more relevant. And you can't stay just with your TV set. We have to see communication in a broader way.
Unfortunately, Dan took over the meeting, and I didn't get a chance to ask him what we're doing with outreach in the East Harlem place.
I don't think they're doing anything. I mean, it's...
The last thing I heard was there was a report done, but it was about, I would say, 4 years ago. Sue Buskey 1 year ago did a report on 4 focus groups to court that neighborhood. That was done 1 year ago.
1 year.
And that was when we asked what the latest had been done, that was
worries me very greatly.
Well, what do you think should be done, George? What would be a good idea before the place opens? I mean, I guess they're waiting for the certificate of occupancy.
That should be assigned to do outreach in that community. Because there's a community center close by, there's a junior high school close by, there's a hospital, there are all kinds of places that would use channels. If they do it with instead, what we've done is to shut down a center.
A little satellite center.
It was operating before we took over the firehouse. So the community is really in worse shape than it was before.
Well, what about the people who are being pushed out of the 59th Street? They don't even have as much access to the studios as they like, and this is being posed to them as an option for getting studio space.
I never heard that the Harlem space it sounded like it was going to be the overflow space.
Right.
For 59th Street.
No.
I said, well, I didn't know that was in the plan.
So what's going to happen to that community if that does in fact happen?
Oh, you mean Barrio's going to get re-gentrified? You know what I mean?
Right.
Get that, right? I mean, we thought the studio was, for like a movie guy, so hopefully, I mean, everybody's invited, right? But the community has people in the community. They're already there. You know what I'm saying?
But didn't you hear him say that there was...
Yeah, I was surprised that he said that. It did seem like an overflow.
I'm in shock. I didn't really realize that Eminem was selling studio time, and he said that they made $15,000, which if the staff has to work on that, the $15,000 is gross. And if you were to net how much payment the staff does, making those contracts, setting up the lights, doing whatever the commercial vendors want.
It doesn't seem worth it for $15,000.
It's not nothing, it's like,
I
come on.
believe that he's paying some of the producers to work on him now. But he still gets the studio time, he still gets editing space, and he still gets conference space during producer hours.
So, but they said it was supposed to be when the downtime.
But that's
when-
not true, he's there every day.
It's a show that goes there every day.
I'm not sure if they go every day, and they may be producing before 12. I don't know if they are, but very often they go over, and he's there editing or having meetings. He's using the facilities every day.
Every Friday he's there. Every Friday.
Every Friday, just one day a week.
He's already there, he's over.
It's not every Friday.
I know
He's
every
there
Friday.
more often.
If you want to
Yes.
find he's always.
Yeah, I wanted to raise an issue that isn't really exactly what everyone is talking about, but it's an issue that I have, and that is that I ran for Attorney General. I was on the ballot in November, and guess what? Not one single major medium in New York State or anywhere in the country or the world covered the fact that I was a candidate. Not one place. So that this is what's going on, that the major media is focusing on the Democrats and the Republicans, and the people who you need and who could help you are not getting any play at all. So I only got 36,000 votes, even though I was the more qualified or the most qualified candidate, and I could have helped everyone. What can you do to try to help candidates that can help you?
Well, I remember visiting Brazil. Actually, I was there with George at one point. But they had, it was, in some countries, they do not allow commercial ads for candidates. But they give every single candidate who's officially a candidate, like 7 minutes a night. And it's, you know, it's for different positions, it's parsed out. But it is amazing. You could sit there and you hear like what their point of view is or whatever. And
But we lost that in the election, that we could have done things. The Libertarian Party is the one I'm talking about. None of us got any publicity except one time. There was one debate for governor. That was the only time that the Libertarian candidate just for the governor got any publicity at all. And the fact that other countries treat things differently isn't helping me. It doesn't change the fact that next time around it's going to be the same thing. Now, public access should recognize that problem and deal with it, because I got 36,000 votes without any support. No support, and I had no campaign contributions. I did this at my own expense. But I'm telling you that we're losing the country because we're not allowing people who could help you to even be heard.
File a class action suit.
That the judges will
I got 40-some-thousand votes.
throw it out.
wow.
So it's true for the Green Party.
I know,
It's
I
a
know.
struggle.
I know.
Figure out unique ways to try to get the point across.
Do you have any statistics as to how many people watch public access?
You know, that's always the question. The one anecdote I always enjoy thinking about is apparently that when Paper Tiger and Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting were the two main groups who were lobbying to get M&N. I mean, you know, we put on like cardboard cameras and marched in front of City Hall and Manhattan.
When can we get into critical thinking and really and get this nation to cease being a nation of sheep? We know how many people watch the Super Bowl. We know how many people watch Lady Gaga. When are we going to stand up for justice?
The people who testified, we got a lot of people to stand up in the City Hall and in the City Council meeting and testify about why we needed public access. And one of them was a cable installer, like the cable guy. And he wasn't working for Time Warner anymore. And he said he brought a paper, and on the paper he had his instructions of how he was to try to sell new subscribers. And he said one of the things they said that Time Warner printed was tell them that they'll be able to get public access. Now, Time Warner is using that as a way to sell subscriptions. So it seems to me that they know that more people watch it. They have those statistics. I mean, there was a woman who was in Paper Tiger once who actually worked at Time Warner, and she got us to, she said that more people watch, I forget what the channel was, but more people watch public access than watch, oh, it was public television. More people watch public access than watch Channel 13. So it is probably people who watch it, but they're not going to tell you. They don't want to let those statistics out because they want those channels back because they don't make any money off it.
Can we get 1 million people to cut up their credit cards with scissors? Can we do that?
Freedom of information?
No, because it's commercial. It's
Oh, it's commercial.
you need moles.
I would think we could get 1 million people to deal with the
That's something to do
library.
with the Nielsen report?
Yeah.
I think we do also, yeah, if they cut it library.
I did that 18 years ago.
Do something to get together and think about some of the issues that
You know, I don't know. Could you all just go around? Let's. I mean, I think we should break up, but I want to know what your name is. Cola.
hold it.
Cola Clark. Okay, I'll vote for you next time.
Thank you, I'll make sure to. Yeah, I'll be ready. Right here.
I'm Jessica Dari, and I work with George.
Well, you're going to co-teach.
That's right. I'm co-teaching with James Bradley.
I'm Rao Ramila, one of the producers. I was a lawyer. I became an actor, now I'm a producer.
Were you a lawyer in India or?
No, here, United Nations Legal Office,
Oh.
senior legal advisor.
Hey, could you? Yeah.
I'm Nina Harlesky. I do Healing is Healing. I started putting my first show at the ACAP office on air. Showed her all and then taught me everything so far. And I'm grateful that you raised the issue of some of the staff there. Because there's a couple of them, even though once in a while they technically come in and help you, they're rather abusive. That's all I can say.
Particularly for women is what I heard.
Well, very abrupt, very negative, swift, quick comments. You know, and I'm just coming in. I'm just coming in to make something. You know, I don't need to, it's like, wow, oh my God, I just got attacked. In sort of whatever insulting way. You know?
Well, when I wasn't there, but when Paper Tiger came in, there were 2 young people, it was their first time in the studio, and they were in tears. I mean, they literally made them cry. They were so, they were made to feel that why were they there, and they actually knew a lot about technology. A lot of these young people know a lot more than we know. So, and they knew more than the teacher, but partly because he was embarrassed or something, he felt he had to do that. It's very ugly.
What could be a solution?
Conflict resolution and mediation, Gerald.
Yeah,
how much does the executive management team and talk with them about?
I don't know how much they get paid.
Well, yeah, but you know,
There's a big differential.
About pay.
There's a big differential between the top management and the people.
Somebody did. There's something that went up on the internet.
You see, it got activities.
So Gloria, what's your last name?
It's still streaming, I just watched it. And I do access for all, and I still do public access programming. There's shows all the morning. Tomorrow night I'm going to be sleep out video at City Hall. And I have that automatically, and I I've asked them to play it.
No, I can't.
As it will automatically, because they're, all of June, they're gonna be sleep-ins throughout the city, but I don't see anything on anything.
There's gonna be a sleep-in at City Hall?
Yes, June
Papa was
1st.
telling me about that.
About public access.
No, not about public, it's for the homeless and housing.
Papa, what was you saying about what's gonna be at City Hall?
Oh, no, on Thursday there's a demonstration to save adult education. And you know, a lot of people don't know that we serve the video community through adult education. We teach our adult participants to use the equipment that we've gotten from NM. So it's all connected, so that's why, you know, among the reasons why I want to keep the program alive.
Papa works at Union Settlement.
No, but we used to do much more public access programming, producers themselves. Because we all do that.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Sean Japan.
You John Show?
Specialist.
Specialist?
Specialist. Nothing on you. Like
Joe Friendly's been doing access for years.
He's got a great show. Can I just ask a question? I'm not against religion at all, but I don't understand Thursday. But one of the things that I noticed is tremendous amount.
Yeah.
It's tremendous amount of religious programs.
I'll review it to the lobby. First, get on the
Talk
elevator.
about public access.
You get on the elevator between 12A twice.
Well, you know, one thing I heard was that
Well,
there's
hey,
someone
you
else
got the
who's
other.
using the equipment and charging for it.
Yeah.
That will go to the churches and for a fee, take the churches and then put that on and uses it and has a real in with the. It seems like there's a kind of cronyism to get access to certain equipment that others can't. And apparently more commercial ones. So somebody, I don't know, I mean, I think it's good when there's church services on, I'm not against it.
It's a large percentage.
Church program. I think you're going to find it. And I'm not against it, but I'm just concerned about the fact that this is an impression that people can get. The public access sounds like if you want your religious programs, one after another, hour after hour. You get each hour, like 60, invariably. It's not around before, and it's not usually 56, but it's 60, 57 and 67. Yeah. Well, I think that you might think that you just brought up though. It sounds to me like people are asking for something in writing about this is what we expect over the new comes.
Yes.
That's everyone. These are the things that, these are the shoes, the dreams, this is what we can do with it.
Yeah.
And I think if we have more of that, hypotheticals what you accomplish.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very important.
Where are we going?
Easy with the tripod and behind you. Watch your, watch your right. Yeah, we're gonna go out and do a jig. Come on.
Oh, you call it.
No, you can't.
I'm sure you are. There's a lot of work.
Well, you should put,
It's surprising. It's surprising. It's surprising that we're talking about the waiter.
Okay, Joe, say good night. Say good night to the audience. Thank them for coming. Good night, Joe and Mr. Pearson, Esquire, the cat, and Shanti, who did not come in a bikini, and everybody's here. So, okay, that's it. I'll keep.
Well, my husband and I, almost an hour.
Well, you know, I think this country is getting very classy. I'm not going to go anymore with my bronze skin. No. Even the police are classy. No. You're getting arrested. You get arrested. Drop me off at the Sixth Film Festival. East Harlem Film Festival. I think it's an actual article well-being. I'm never going to oh, yes.
Rob the bank. No, he's going to be a couple days in City House, and he's going to workshop. That's no, he's going to be doing a recording session and making a film. He got Parkinson's, so he used to be really great he got Parkinson's. Maybe. Yeah, but I want to get you in touch with him, and I'm going to get you his number. I haven't got, you don't have his number. So I'll get, how long do you know?
I actually share on Friday.
You're going to go to state. Yeah, sure. Did you ever get that thing down to Cuba? Did you ever get that thing down to Cuba? He had a thing down to Cuba. Wow, that was a big deal.
Harold, I'm getting ready to take off.
Okay,
well, give me a ring tomorrow.
Okay, good. How are you feeling? I'm good. Much better. Wait, yeah.
Councilman.